sure people would think that I'm a terrible person for saying it, but I'm basically bored. Bored of this virus, bored of the mainstream, bored of everything. The problem is that I experienced everything at a very young age. People don't experience the things that I was able to, sometimes ever in their lives, but most often it's only when people reach their later years, the latter part of their life, that they actually travel and, experience all of these different cultures and also, meet all sorts of different people from extraordinary backgrounds. But I've done it all. I've done as much of it as I need to. And nothing really excites me anymore or interests me. I sort of feel as if I've plateaued. But I feel totally disconnected with the mainstream. It's so alien to me. I just do not belong. I do not relate to the ordinary, average, everyday Joe. I just don't connect. Because the way that they think is just so foreign to me. I can't see the world that they do because they are so heavily conditioned by the media, and media is only one part of it. It's the whole of the mainstream culture, which is like an echo chamber. And people have just become clones of one another. There are about 3 or 4 different templates for a person in terms of their job, their interests, their ambitions, the type of family they have, the way they dress, the way they speak. It's so formulaic and predictable that I cannot relate to that level of dishonesty. I can't penetrate that facade to access who these people really are. I can't see their energy. So that you can't make a genuine connection. The world that I was in before was where I belonged. But I have such moral conflict with that world that I can't participate in it. But that's where I belong. To all the people who I used to associate with, all the people I knew, I could relate to on a much deeper level. And there was an understanding and a connection. But their views are so different, so opposing, fundamental views, but I am constantly tempted to return. Once you are bitten by a vampire, you can't live without going back for more. You are driven by the same need to consume as the vampire. But that conflicts with everything that I believe morally and on a spiritual level. It's like a poison that once you are infected with, you can't exist without somehow satisfying the need to consume. And for me, that would mean going back and indulging in a life of excess and having an understanding that you are an elite member of society. You are better than most other people. You only associate in small circles, but you do connect with those people. You all have a mutual understanding. Your relationship is based on this connection. It is so separate from the mainstream world, the world on the surface. Once you've been in it, this other world, you can't go back to the mainstream. People don't understand because they've never crossed over to the other side. People from the mainstream, they don't, and they never will understand what else is there and the potential. So events like this virus, to me, when I look at it, I just imagine being in that other world and being completely removed, because those people are. It's not going to affect them. It's just another game that's being played to them. And they just watch. They watch the people on the surface suffer as a form of amusement. But they are not affected. I asked when I was part of these circles why we should have such an excessive life when there were so many people starving in the world and there was such trouble in third world countries with poverty, and they just said to me, you don't need to worry about that. Don't think about it. That's just how the world is. So that's how they live. And these are people who claim to be so caring and peace-loving and so egalitarian, and they just don't let the reality of what these poor people are going through, they don't let it interfere with their party. And that's why I disagree with that way of living. but I'm trapped because I'm stuck in the middle. I can't go back and I can't go forward because I have no way of connecting with these people on the surface. And so I'm in a state of limbo. Which way things work out from here, I have no idea. But every day is a struggle to maintain focus and some sense of future prospect. Because every day I know that I'm not where I should be. I'm not connected to the people I should be connected to. And it is this moral conflict that is in the way. It is the barrier. So much has happened that caused me to separate from these circles. Such profound events and such damaging events that it's as if the bridges have been completely burned. There seems to be no way back. But then, as I say, there's no way forward. So this uncertainty that the world was experiencing for the past few weeks, I've been experiencing for years. So I'm used to it. It's no big deal for me. What is a big deal is the fact that people's liberties were being revoked. And I can see these other forces at play. I know how they work. I know what their agenda is and what they want, the power that they want and the control that they want, because that's how they maintain their way of life. But that is where I belong. I do belong with them. But I cannot accept their philosophies, and just as they would reject mine. I don't know that there's any way to reconcile that. But every day I keep thinking, and I have to struggle internally with this agony, conflict. But there'll come a time when I have to make a decision. And all of this craziness in the world just seems to be noise in the background. Because inside, I'm at war with myself. I am at war with the two aspects of myself, of my personality, where I was and where I should be or want to go. But then there's where I am now. And that is in this space that is surreal and feels as if it could fall apart at any moment. But the war needs to be resolved inside. And so I just will keep fighting.